The Liberia Broadcasting System presents Nightline Liberia. From the valleys of Liberia to the top of Wologisi Mountain, Nimba, Grand Kipma, River G, to the coast of Sino, Bassa, Bong, Riverses, Maryland, Margibi, Grand Cru, Bapolu, Grand Jide, and Monserrado. We present to you Nightline Liberia, a primetime talk show loaded with factual news, fresh information, not fiction. Nightline Liberia. We set the tune. We control the airwaves. We are the nation's pride, the biggest platform. Our panelists are some of Liberia's brightest and best political analysts from diverse backgrounds, like Vandela Patrick, Dr. Lester Zomatic Tene, Al Hussein Fadiga, Sansim Brown Tour, Daniel Sando, and Eugene Lamin Fangon. Nightline Liberia begins at 8 p.m. with 60 minutes around the country, bringing you updates from LBS correspondents. Nightline Liberia's final segment kicks off with its panelists and pundits from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. as they propound on trending national issues. Nightline Liberia. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
When we work together, there's nothing we cannot overcome as a people. This is why I ask all of you, representatives of our people, to join me to do the business of the Liberian people by not doing business as usual. I challenge you to join me to think Liberia, love Liberia, and build it.
It's Nightline Liberia every Monday to Friday beginning at 8 p.m. on ELBC Radio, 99.9 FM, and other frequencies around the country.
Good evening, and welcome to Nightline Liberia here on ELBC Radio 99.9 and other frequencies across the country. My name is Fabienne Kuya. On tonight, let me take this time to welcome you all to another edition of Nightline Liberia. Nightline Liberia is a nighttime show on ELBC Radio, as I said earlier, 99.9 and other frequencies, as well as LNTV2. Nightline Liberia is the media of the minds with some of Liberia's best and brightest political analysts. For now, let me now cross over to our moderator, Antonin Vawen. Good evening, partner.
Good evening, Fabian. Good evening, Fabian. Good evening, everybody. Talk free, but talk clean. We say here, I talk, you talk, they talk, we talk, but let us talk clean. Together, let us think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia. Like Fabian said, a very good evening, and welcome to yet another stimulating evening of national discussions on ELBC, the number one radio station in Liberia, and I dare say the Liberia Broadcasting System. A very stimulating discussion this evening, where we will be placing the spotlight on the Liberia Broadcasting System and the wonders that are taking place here at the LBS under the leadership of Eugene Lamy Fangon. Well, during the week, ELBC Radio News carried that for enhanced partnership between the Liberia Broadcasting System and the China Media Group, the two entities signed a 2-year memorandum of understanding. That agreement paved the way for enhanced contents exchange, technical cooperation, and personnel training, among other things, between the LBS and the China Media Group. Of course, the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, the Honorable Eugene Fangon, signed on behalf of the system, and there's a Liberia. That was on Monday. That occasion was graced by China Media Group's Africa Bureau Chief Song Jianing. She expressed confidence that the LBS and the CMG would scale up to new heights, meaning great things would happen. We are on the verge of those great things yet again. Now, tonight, we also said during the week that the official groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the much anticipated 5.5 million China 8 television and radio expansion project at the Liberia Broadcasting System was expected to take place in coming days. Well, the disclosure was made by, again, the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, the Honorable Eugene Fangon, when a group of young people from the Media Action Cohort 5 who were on vacation journalism training visited his offices at the main complex of the Liberia Broadcasting System. Director Fangon then told the students, the young people, and the rest of the world that the molding complex will be equipped with molding broadcast equipment and enhance the work of the state broadcaster. He disclosed that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Newman Boakai, is expected to break grounds for the construction of the new complex on the LBS compound tomorrow. This is where we are today. Let me say again, welcome to our panelists, and backtrack a little bit to go to Fabien. Fabien, this is quite an exciting news.
Sure, it is, and so I'm so glad about it, and a lot of people are excited because we've been sharing the flyer in several groups and letting people know what's happening tomorrow. Because this is state broadcaster. Though we have our compound with other departments here, but to have the Chinese government underwriting the cost by giving to us a 5.5 million state-of-the-art facility that will be completed within a year's time, I think it's a boost for the Liberia Broadcasting System as a whole, and not only to the entity, but to Liberia and our citizens, both home and abroad. So saying that coming to fruition by tomorrow, and seeing the president along with the Chinese delegation being here on the compound of the Liberia Broadcasting System, I think is good news, and that will be an exciting moment for all of us here. So tomorrow is the D-Day for our groundbreaking, where we have a modern state-of-art facility for the national broadcaster.
Yes. So, and let me say that massive work is ongoing already at the Liberia Broadcasting System main compound. Preparatory work is ongoing. The ground has been prepared for the ceremony tomorrow, the groundbreaking ceremony. And let me disclose that thankfully, the Director General, the Honorable Eugene Fangon, has accepted our request and appeal to sit on the show with us tonight. So in a couple of minutes, he will be joining us to provide more detail on the information that we've already started providing. And I know tomorrow's occasion is going to be graced by several government officials, partners,
as well as dignitaries
as well. And I'm sure there'll be a huge presence of the media community because this is for the media. It's support for the media. It's not just a state broadcaster. The facilities belong to Liberia, so I'm sure they will perform. They will participate massively tomorrow. But let me see that our panelists are online. Can you confirm who and who is on the line already? We're trying to. Okay, we have not seen them, but we we almost certain that they will be with us. So yes, that's where we are tomorrow. To come to think of it, Fabine, this facility, the Liberia Broadcasting System, the visionary, the person who thought that Liberia needed such facility as the Liberia Broadcasting System. For an example, like has been in the news, and you can see what's happening in Monrovia and around the country. You want to see um, farmers. We're having some feedback there. Let's hope that we can control that. Um, Farmers learning from other farmers in other parts of the country as well, Bomi knows what Lofa is doing, and Maryland knows what Nimba is doing. At the end of the day, all of that comes together. Like it's said, let us think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia, working together for the common good of our country. So, yeah, we're still looking out there for the DG who will be joining us. He actually confirmed that he's a very busy person, so I'm very very busy, but um, I'm sure he will be here at some point of the day. He was also here on radio and television, providing information uh, that the people need, the information that they need to have. Um, yeah, so we hope. Okay, now I can safely say that I can see panelist Goa. He's joined us. Matter of fact, he's one of the hands at the hem here, trying to push the buttons to make things happen. Let me say good evening to you, panelist Thomas Goa. Welcome to Nightline for another stimulating discussion.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very happy to be here, and thank you guys too for the program. Yeah, I look forward to discussing this very, very, very game-changing um, opportunity for the LBS. So let me not jump the gun, but I look forward to discussing it. We are very happy at LBS. We um, are so grateful to our Chinese family and friends, and to the president and leadership of the Republic of Liberia, and also for the Liberian people, because this is going to be very useful in informing our people, in educating them, and it's going to play a very critical role, in our democracy.
Yes, and let me say to you across Liberia, imagine, imagine sitting in your town, and having access to television and seeing what's happening around the country. Like we had a news today that we're very concerned about, that there was some tremor somewhere around Ubedu. When you look and see that on television, it's like you know so much about what is happening around your country. But even most importantly, take for instance, we want to pay attention to learning, education. Television is a very useful tool as well. The entire country would be like coming together in unison towards the development of the country. You want to see how Nimba is doing with agriculture, how Maryland is doing, maybe with oil palm. You want to see what kind of mining is taking place in Nimba, in Bomi, in Bapolu, in places. The television is going to be, they say seeing is believing, and a lot is done by way of the stories that are told. By just listening to somebody and watching them, you can learn a lot, and I'm sure you can bear testimony to that, Thomas. Well, I hope you're hearing us.
Come again.
I was just like looking at the benefits that come with this
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
huge
yeah,
move.
yeah. Huge benefit, huge
Right.
benefit. For decades, LBS has played, a major role, has been the vital source of information, right, for the Liberian
Yes, sir.
people. And, like many other media outlets, we've been faced with a lot of challenges in keeping up with, broadcasting technologies. So the new complex, the new multimedia complex, promises to address this issue, promises to address those gaps, by equipping LBS with the tools to deliver high quality content and reach, a broader audience with, clearer signals. Um, More importantly, like one of the areas that I look at, that I see is also going to be very beneficial would be training for even the LBS staff and the media landscape. This partnership is going to help us send some of our staff to China, and other places around Africa that are facilitated, that will be facilitated by them. So there are a lot of opportunities coming with this, and so I think Liberian people should really rejoice for this. Is going to be so good. Like you were saying, if you can sit in your home and be able to just buy a common antenna and just plug it on your TV and be able to watch television, or if you want to get even some of these decoders that have like the Satcom or other media, provider, media service providers. Those are all things that are in the making. At this point, it's going to be the media complex, right? But then LBS on its own, and with support from the president of Liberia, is working on bringing television to the entire country. So it's going to be by stages, though. It's not going to be a one-time, one-day process. It's going to be by stages, but it's something that is in the pipeline, and we keep talking about it, discussing it, and writing different kinds of technical papers, and proposals to be able to make this happen. But having the facility itself, the buildings, are very essential. When you have the infrastructure, when you have the building there, and then you get the latest technology, all you need to do now would be to add the different layers of it, which would be like antennas and broadcast antennas, receiving antennas, and all these towers and all the stuff associated with it, to be able to reach the people. But overall, this is really good. This is something we should be happy about. That the Chinese are willing and ready to help. They want to help us improve, the media landscape of Liberia. As you know, LBS is seen as one of the benchmark, in the media landscape in Liberia. And look at our level. I mean, as much as we are the benchmark, look at our level. We have so many challenges. So with this, it's going to be even good, because then it even makes it a standard that other West African countries will want to emulate.
Well, I mean, I saw the banner. I mean, with the building,
Thomas is still on the line.
He's gone mute. There's a bit of a delay. I think he stopped. But there's a bit of a delay. So I was saying, I know Koto has joined us. We'll soon go over to. I hope she's getting us now. But when like you said, I mean, this project is coming in at a time when people are looking at advancement in terms of the digital age. So much so that in my mind, we wouldn't be looking at the plans right before us, but just by looking at the building, the physical, the outlook, I mean, it's something to marvel. I saw one of the LBS staff. He stood for almost 10 minutes today just looking at the image, and I came to and said, "But why are you so intently looking at this image like this?" He said, "I'm just imagining how beautiful this is, and how we will be moving in this place, and how people will be coming, and how even we will be so motivated to have such a molding facility." I don't want to begin to say that, Koto, you've seen this, but I think Thomas has seen it. In fact, they're the hands behind trying to get it work. The image itself, you should want to come and see what we're talking about, even though it's not going to be like you overflow LBS with all the people, because the dignitaries and everybody will be here. But when you have the opportunity, you should just take a look. Well, again, I encourage our colleagues in the newspapers and the rest to publish these. Let people see what's happening here at LBS. Koto, what do you say?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad to be with you all, and I want to tell the Liberia people hi, and those that are around the world listening to us at this time. I'm very happy, to hear such a news, and this is what we will want to hear. especially for me, I would really appreciate such a thing because in this digital world, like you said, now that is improving, I still see you guys reading from papers, reading news, and now technology have gone to different level, you want to see your country at the same level of color others, if not, 100%, but to some level. Okay, and that will be one of my happiness, and what we call information dissemination is not, an easy thing in the country, and to counteract, by images or by information that will be going about the country, it need an institution, a viable institution that will be there to counteract all of this information. And in that line, you guys will have to be well equipped, and like you're talking about the infrastructure, all of those setup. But my own thing would be with the maintenance issue, because I think the Chinese once upon a time had, some maintenance program or set up. The I think LBS before, if I'm not mistaken. And the problem about it is how, like Guo was saying, I really appreciate that where people will be trained. Liberians will be trained in that when this construction is carried on, the equipment are well set up, that Liberians will be trained, to maintain it, to some level, that we will, improve on them. Because otherwise, these things will be built and then it becomes useless, it becomes dilapidated, and there is no use of them because people are not educated, to maintain these things. Because I saw the honorable director the other day when he was in, I think it's in Lofa or somewhere, when he went to the building that they had there, and it was so sad because this place is not maintained. The equipment are there, they are not well set up, or probably if it is well set up, but it's not up to standard in order that I would really appreciate that if they are just putting the structure there, like Guo was saying. Now it should be like setting up maybe some it taking also initiatives, right, to start making, the requests about maintenance, because that's the major things. Setting out the building is beautiful, which I appreciate, but also how to maintain these institutions that have been our major problem. Not that development has not been going on in Liberia. It has been, but the maintenance problem have been our problem, and I think we can improve on that, and we will have, these structures there, and then we just continue to improve instead of coming in order to improve on it, then we come and start maintaining again. I think that's what I have to add, but I must be, must commend the director for this bold step. It's not an easy thing to take such a step, and I want to appreciate him so much for what he has done. Honorable Fagon, I appreciate you and your staff, because it's not a one-man show thing. It's like the contribution from all of you, that may have made this initiative successful. So I want to say that for now as we go on with this program. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fabian?
Yeah. Thank you there, Koto. And thank you there, Kuo. We just listened to both of you and we heard all what you said. I think the issue of maintenance, according to what Koto said, has been a problem in some quarters, but with the staff that ELBC has, and coupled with whatever facility that we have here, I mean, it will be well taken care of. Like while in discussion with some other journalists today, especially when they saw the design of the building, out of curiosity, one of them asked and said, Fabian, we hope the Chinese people will put gym inside there in the Liberian Palace. I hope gym will be there, other things. I said, probably. So we await our Director General who we expect to see maybe within a couple of minutes to join us and tell us more about the project and tell us more about the blueprint and the plans so that we know what all we have. But we are so excited, we are upbeat about this upcoming program tomorrow, where we expect to see a lot of government officials here. Because as my colleague said, work is ongoing and people has been working since day. And so by tomorrow, I'm sure all will be set for the groundbreaking, where we expect to see the president of Liberia performing that ceremony. So we still await our Honorable Director General Eugene Fagon, who will be our guest tonight to throw more light on it, and also with our panelist, Thomas Guo, who is pretty seated, and also with Koto. So, Vawen?
Yeah. So I agree with Kotu. No, I agree with her. I agree with you too. That for some time you hear a lot about the issue of maintenance. But it's easy to tell. They say when the Christmas is good, you will tell from the eve. When you come to LBS on a daily basis, you will know what the people here want to maintain, what little they have. They say to who little is given and can manage well, bigger ones are given to you. And we see that there's a lot of work almost on a daily basis to make sure that what we have is maintained. We don't have a lot of outages. Whenever probably we're going out, you will hear that LBS will say, "Oh, we're going off because we're doing maintenance," but not too often you have really heard that LBS is going off or so. And another day you come here, everything here is not what we want it to be ultimately, but it is at an appreciable level. Bathrooms good, office is good, everywhere looks clean and moving, compound clean, green.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good concern, Koto, and I think that we should not let down our guide. We should continue in this line. I also believe that the partnership would include not just building all these beautiful structures and just dump them on LBs. I think there will be some consideration on maintenance concerns. I know the team here would know that when you have such a facility, you will have to consider maintenance. So since the DG is not here yet, I would like to throw that right to Thomas. It's a good concern, but I think you are on top of your game. What do you think?
Yeah, it's this project, the significance of this project goes beyond just the media, right? It reflects a strategic partnership between Liberia and China, highlighting how cooperation can lead to tangible benefits for our country. The involvement of President and the Chinese ambassador Yin Chengwei, underscore how important this initiative is. So it just isn't about constructing the building, but it's also about investing in the future of the Liberian media sector, okay, which plays a critical role in our democracy, right? By informing and educating our people. Just last week, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the China Media Group, um, in which part of it, the agreement was they would be providing training for LBS staff, meaning that LBS staffs would be going to China to get some training. So yes, training is all part of these initiatives that we are taking. So the building will be constructed and equipped with state-of-the-art, technologies. And the idea is to get us a structure that is functional. It's not just an empty building, but it's going to be a structure that is functional. We're talking about $5 million. So think about it. What $5 million can do? It's going to do a lot. Um, but beyond that, also more importantly, we're talking about this complex being able to build our capacity in a way that we can be able to produce contents that align with international standards, right? And this means also opportunity for local journalists. I'm talking about the social economic implications, right? It means opportunity for journalists, for broadcasters, content creators. They should be able to receive better training and access resources that they never had before. So you get the training, you get job, and we're talking about the ripple effect across the entire creative media industry in Liberia. So I can say for sure that this is going to help us. And when it comes to the maintenance, yes, those of us who have traveled abroad have seen, how things look out there. We love how it looks out there, and we want Liberia to look like that. So we do everything in our weak power while we are here to be able to maintain it and also be able to pass that legacy over to the succeeding, generation, so that they can also be able to, take on from there and continue to maintain it as will be expected by any decent people.
Okay, so thank you very much, viewers and followers. Let me say we're fortunate now to have in our studio the Honorable Eugene Lamin Fangon, Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, the visionary, the captain, the man behind the efforts here, leading the charge, partnering with the Chinese. Carrying on the president's mandate. Honorable Lamin Fangon, you look quite excited. I know it's a long day. I've seen you come from one show to the other, just trying to let the people know the efforts here at LBS. First, congratulations. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Tony, and good evening, Fabian, and good evening, my able staff here tonight. I'm doing good. Maybe tired a little bit because, LBS is everyone's pride. It's the nation's pride. This is the state broadcaster. And so we're not like some people who got one friend. We got several friends. We got friends as LBS. We have friends in the opposition, friends in the ruling party. We have friends in the religious community, friends in the business community. We have friends among politicians. We got everybody. So we are trying to work as hard as possible because there's going to be a massive group of people here tomorrow from all walks of life. They're going to be marketers, students, politicians, theologians, academicians. They're all going to troop here tomorrow. So we're excited about it. I'm a little bit tired, but we're going to keep going. We're kicking till midnight tonight, making sure that everything is prepared for tomorrow and the arrival of His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boakai and entourage, along with the Chinese Ambassador Ying Chengwu, who will also be here for this historic moment in our nation's history.
Eugene Lamin Fangon, I like to passionately say that. Seeing what you're trying to do for your country. The president says, think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia. Remember the saying by the former American president, think not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Exactly.
So I'm just like wondering, I imagine a workaholic number 6 player on the field who is all over the place looking for you. You have to ask him, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
You where do you take all this energy from? What drives you? I mean, all of this, you want to see this, you want to see that. You got friends here, friends there, all over the place. What drives you?
With the passion of patriotism, compelled by compassion, the sort of compassion that you look at and say, this shouldn't be. You are here at the station. Simple things that require simple and practical moves were overlooked and taken for granted. And those things, if you capture them all in one piece, takes about a day. My first day here, I saw a broken chair. And all that was required was any ordinary person to just flip that chair over, take a piece of stone and knock the nail back in. That's all. But someone will pass. You know why? It's government stuff. Simple things like changing a light bulb, which basically costs about $1 and change. Someone will walk past it. And so I recall when you ask me what drives you, I'm compelled by compassion and the sense of patriotism to my country, because I've seen too much in so little time of my life, owing to the fact that people acquire all these wealth and then all these big cars and big buildings, and they die and they have to be buried in the 6x6 or maybe 6x4 in some cases. They never take along with them these huge, gigantic suitcases of money. So I'm driven by the fact, but more so what drives me at LBS. The number one thing that drives me is the question of a whole country after the Civil War. Have you ever thought about it? That television is only limited to Monrovia, not even all of Montserrado County? Have you thought about it? That television is not digitized or not digital in any respect? That we don't have cable? Have you thought about it that people cannot even hear their radio stations? What if the Chinese had not built 6 substations throughout the country? That means we will not be able to broadcast to the rest of the country. Have you ever thought about it? And so what drives me is the fact that we've gone all these years from 1990 of our Civil War till today. We are sitting calling ourselves educated people, in some cases rich people, in some cases telling people we are the greatest, but yet television is limited to the capital of Liberia. Have you ever asked yourself? I am determined more than before to work 16 hours until television and radio is restored to the entire country. Mind you, it is not an opportunity to give them, it is their rights that they're being denied. In the Constitution, Article 15 is clear. It is the right of the people to be informed. So how do you inform the people if you don't have radio and television? How? They've been denied their rights, and I'm driven by compassion, and I'm driven by the level of patriotism to make sure I deliver on the promise I made to His Excellency and the instructions he gave me.
You know, I could keep talking, but I know I have to pass on to my colleague and the panelists. But just before I do that, one of the most important things in an environment like this is the human resource. They say there is no act to tell the mind's construction in the face. But I say contrary to that, it is possible to look at a face and determine from their body language what they might be thinking. But I don't know how many people are wearing frowns. Everybody will not be happy. But come to LBS. I mean, whether it's the management team, whether the staff, I don't know how many people are wearing frowns. In that case, how are you managing that as well?
Well, I always like to refer to myself as a midfielder. And even on the field of play, everyone will not be happy because sometimes you will be fielding the ball to the right winger. Sometimes you'll be fielding the ball to the striker more often than you are playing, with other midfielders. The reason for that is where you found the hole, you take advantage of it against your opponents. And in this case, if you look at LBS, there were people here that were capable of doing the job. There were people here ready to work, but were they given the opportunity? Were they given the resources to do so? Were they given the optimism, the motivation, and what have you? I don't think so. I walked into this facility and I saw people who were eager to work, but it was sad, that they did not have what, would necessitate such, that they did not have the kind of resources that they needed to do the job, the equipments and what have you. But today, people come into LBS happy, cheerful. Our facility is clean. Our security guards are, equipped with what they need. I remember one of the security officers said to me, it feels good to hold the radio and say Falcon 1, coming for, and I'm like, really? You're like, yes. It feels good as the commander of the security detail here to be sitting in the main building and monitoring your facility on the screen. That is CCTV camera, looking all around the facility just on a simple screen. It feels good to be able to open the gate wearing your rain gear as a security officer. It feels good to have a handheld radio when you are scaling the tower or as a technician working with the OB crew. It feels good not to be running from the security gate to the main building to tell the receptionist that someone came to see Anthony Vaughn, when you can just pick up the phone and dial. And you know how much that costs? We pay $1 for the SIM card, and I believe we pay $60 for the phone. And every month, the phone bill for one Dex phone is $5 US. I bought 20 in one shot. So today, the receptionist can call a deputy director general and say, Ms. Fabian Quia is here to see you. And he can pick up the phone, let her come. Why were people running all around for just $5 a day when you are charging $5 for one announcement? Come on. When I went over to Lone Star and I said, why didn't you give our people, the opportunity of having this and that? They said, because they lack innovation like you. I took it as an insult, but a constructive insult, because I don't think I had more innovation than them, but I don't know what happened along the way. It's not for me to criticize. It feels good when people on the compound tell you we had one bus and one Jeep, but today how many Jeeps you see flying around the place? There are about 3 Jeeps. There's one pickup. There's a motorcycle. There's a bus. There are cars. It feels good when people tell you that since you took over, not a single day one of our cars broke down on the street without gas or fuel. It feels very good. And so when everyone is happy and everyone puts in the time, everyone will work. And that's what you see playing at LBS. Those who will try to frown their face or their faces, I'm not sure it's people from LBS, trust me. Yes, since I've been here, I had to put my foot down. And I put my foot down for a reason. And that reason is what you're seeing today. Because there were several individuals here, a couple of them, about 2 or 3 of them, who thought it would have been business as usual. No, I was not prepared for that. You would put in your time. One of the workers told me, since I've been at LBS all these years, it's my first time signing in. Are you kidding me? Say yes. You know why? Because today you have a computer, and if I don't put in my time, they go to the computer to clock in. If I don't put in my time, I will not get paid. But at first, whether I put it in, I don't put it in, I don't care. And I said, thanks for being truthful. But thanks for using the desktop to clock in now.
Okay. So we're gonna go now to sorry, Fabian. Let me let you go.
Now, you spoke of progress being made since you took over the mantle of authority here at the Liberia Broadcasting System, and others that are listening are hoping that they hope that your progress will be decentralized because you have substations around and you have correspondence. So how do you intend expanding your tentacles?
We've been, since I took over, we've been to Bombing. And the people in Bombing will tell you what we did at our facility, where we've invited Lone Star and Orange to come to the table. They haven't, and so we will pursue another route. Of course, they've been notified. We went to Buchanan. Our intervention also can be seen. As a matter of fact, the air conditioned, right? Mm-hmm. There's big one sitting in the corner. One left a couple of days ago for Buchanan. The chief repairman for generators and what have you has left on a 3-county tour, loaded his vehicle. I wish I had put that on the screen for people to see the vehicle. He's going to go into Buchanan to complete all the work there. From there, he will be going to Grand Jide and then to Sino. We will meet him probably in Monrovia quite shortly. But you talk about decentralization. The goal of the president is to see television throughout the length and breadth of this country. Right now, we have 7 substations in Lofa, in Banga, in Bombing, in Buchanan, in Sino, in Grand Jide, and in Maryland, I believe. Yes. And so we have, when you say decentralization, by the time we put on these 300-watt transmitters on these towers in these counties and redo all of the buildings, we will not be talking about decentralization. We will be talking about centralizing television in a way that some of the counties will be able to have their own programs on their own television transmitters.
Wow.
And just to let you know, since I've been here, decentralization in the context of which you speak has happened, because nothing that happens here does not happen for the people in the county. In fact, one of the things I did was seeing Damangwa and others having their gadgets and their lapel pins on their chest, having one move for the people they interview. I looked at them like there are almost 20 correspondents throughout the country, and you all were witnesses. I fitted them with the same gadgets. Nothing's going to change. When we divided food here for 26, a bag of rice each, whether you were contractor or volunteer, it didn't matter to me. Everyone got their fair share. And so nothing we will do here will not impact or affect our facilities or employees anywhere around the country.
So now the big one. Tomorrow is D-Day. So let me go back to our panelists now. Koto, would you like to go first? Ladies first, they say.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to thank again the Director General, Honorable Eugene Fagon, for the booster. Sometimes we were in the political, game, whether being on the opposition side or being in position, like the normally Liberians say, you will see the enthusiasm in somebody, the love of Liberia in the eyes of people who took the initiatives and were speaking, whether on the opposition or on the imposition. And Honorable Eugene Fagon had been one of those five-sighted, and we saw the transition even when he was on the other side and how he transcended to the other side. And it was all about the love of country. And once that feeling is in you that you love your country, you want to have your country to a certain level. And giving the opportunity like what he has, all he has to do is to exert that, that energy in transforming LBS. And like you rightly said, Honorable Fagon, the decentralization of the broadcasting system. And like once upon a time, I saw you, I think it was in the Lofa era. You were, looking at the building there that, one of the transmission sites. Using it and trying to transform it because the way you saw it was all bad off. And I was just talking about that, okay, about the maintenance process. And I was just saying that all of the arrangement you guys will be making, I hope all of these are in the contract because I see you are doing your work. And, it's one thing that somebody does one and the next person that comes after you, to pick up from where you landed. But, unfortunately, sometimes we don't see, some things that we have to start from. But I think what we should start doing now and to see where the foundation will be laid. Like if you leave, the next person can pick up from where you end there. And I want to, thank you so much for the energy you're exciting, in LBS to transform it. I just hope you continue it and whoever comes when you leave can continue because we all know LBS is the we call it the transmitter point of the government, and it should be well equipped to the point that where the Liberian people will benefit. And what people don't realize is like for example, right there say he said $5 and they could use that $5. The more you decentralize the era, other counties in the counties that people will be coming to make announcement too. And that will also be an income generation, but that is something that they have never had. And seeing it there, that will actually motivate them to see reason, of equipping it or making it better for Liberia. And that's what we want to see. I want to say thank you guys so much, and I really appreciate what you guys doing.
Okay, so Thomas, the ball is in your court.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone else is saying, but to buttress Mr. Fagan's statement about the work that is ongoing, the in the out, I mean, at the outstations, one of the guys who was sent actually has done the work in Bicano. He just arrived not too long in Sando. He will be working today in. He said that's happening, and then tomorrow when it's complete, he will forward to Grand GDET. So at LBS, the spirit is very high. The esprit de corps, what they call, that team spirit, is very high. And so even tonight, the guys were working in the rain. It's raining, and people are working in the rain just to ensure that tomorrow, the program becomes a success. Um, there are even people in the canteen who say, hey, they want to stay and make sure we get food, so we don't get gas, we get food to eat, tonight, while all of these are going on. So the team is really together, and that is something that is very much encouraging, and it helps us, keep going. But like we all are saying is this is a very good opportunity for us because this going to modernize our infrastructure, bring it to standard like international standards. It's also going to help us to be able to cover our news, the national coverage, to be able to cover our news, in a way that one will expect. Um, it's going to help us with capacity building and professional development because some of our people will be going for training. Um, it's also going to help promote, like the director was saying, digital broadcasting, because then many other countries have transitioned to have digitized their broadcasting systems. Liberia is still behind, and we are hoping that this leads to that, which is expected of many other countries, according to the International Telecommunications Association. It's also going to help us with strengthening our democracy because people can be able to, just how we are exchanging our views, there will be more participation across the country when you're talking about decentralizing LBS. Well, we'll also be decentralizing how we collect information, how people interact with how the public interact on this platform, that is being able to air their views like we are doing on Nightline now, but now it's going to be more open. People can be able to, it's going to help us too in terms of preserving or promoting our culture, because a lot of these activities that we have that promote our culture are not, being promulgated, disseminated out there on television. So with television, people can be able to see the different tradition of the Gio people, the Manan people, the Loma people, the Bassa people across the country will be able to see the different traditions, how the people do things, in those areas. So I would say that overall, this is going to help us, and it's going to boost our international partnership with the Chinese government. Of course, it's basically showing how, when you make friends, you get benefit. We're talking about good friends, not just any kind of friends, but good friends. When you make good friends, say, show me your friend, I will tell you who you are. So
Sure.
with Liberia's friendship with China tells us that this is a good friendship because it's going to help us do a lot of things in terms of hosting joint programs, training, exchanges. Is also going to help us in terms of crisis management when we have, we are not praying for it, but we have, for example, a national natural disaster. We can be able to interact with, on the radio, on the television, across the country for people to be able to follow those precautions, those measures that will be communicated in terms of how you respond to these natural disasters or national crisis. All right, and I think that with the amount of investment, we're talking about over $5 million. This is going to position us as a regional leader in the media landscape in West Africa. I can really see it from the conversation and the interaction with the Chinese media group the other time when the DG was signing that memorandum of understanding. We could tell that they are mostly based in East Africa, and they encouraging them to use Liberia as their headquarters in West Africa. And the lady was open to that discussion. So with all these coming, with all these in the making, with all these around the corner, I'm hopeful for Liberia, and I'm very grateful that I lay to see the change that we yearn for so many years, that we cry and nag and weep and fought, and like how all these insults during campaigns and say all kinds of stuff about one another just because of the love for country. I'm very happy to see myself being part of the change that we yearn for so long, we the young people. And I'm also happy that the president, sees it fit for young people to participate in bringing the change that he is, in Liberians to participate in, especially as he always says that he calls it a challenge, and I always say that yes, indeed, he says, I challenge you. The word, I challenge you means that I know that there are obstacles, there are things that will try to stop you. There are also things that will entice you to go astray, to go the wrong way. And that is why he calls it a challenge. I challenge you to join me in doing the Liberian people's business, but not doing business as usual. So those of us who are open to that vision, who see the vision, those of us who can see, what the president is trying to communicate. We are passionate about it, and we'll do everything we can to help in the process. We thank our Chinese partners. This is a beginning. We hope that more and more can come. So they say appreciate the little more can come. So we want to thank them very much for this, and we hope that they can help us do even more.
All right. All right, Thomas. Thank you. Now I'll come back to you. All is set, Mr. Fagon, for the construction of a new radio and television in Liberia tomorrow. I'm sure you have a very huge delegation, or maybe visitors or friends that will be gracing that occasion. So, who are some of those friends, dignitaries that you've invited here to see this all important occasion, especially seeing the president of Liberia visiting this compound? Because I think for the past time I haven't heard about our past president visiting here, except for the president before that of the past, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And so, what really prompted you in that direction to think of President Burka performing that operation?
Well, that's not what prompted me. And I mean, he led the charge with the Chinese ambassador, Ambassador Ying Chengwu. And all I had to do was step right into his footstep and make it happen by, continuing the dialogue and making sure I did what was asked of me to do. He initiated a conversation with them with respect to coming back and bringing the complex, refurbishing, and as well as the expansion of the program here. And all I had to do was follow in that footstep to make sure I push and I push and I push and I push. But let me say this to you, Fabian. I think usually, I mean, when I was on Spoon or somewhere on Facebook, I have said, and not a single day will I pull back this debate, that the United States, EU, AU, ECOWAS, they all have helped Liberia. They have done so much for this country. I mean, in terms of health, whatever you want to name it, they've helped us. But there's one debate I often hold, and even to my grave, I will hold that debate. In the last 50 years, Chinese contribution to our infrastructure development, it's great. And today, in this modern era, once upon a time, we used to say the Capitol building was constructed by the Americans, the Ministry of Information, the Americans, the Executive Mansion, those beautiful things. Now, since post-war and before the war, just before the war, in the last 50 years, if you like, when you say the most modern hospital in Tapita, built by the Chinese, the Roberts International, most modern airport in the country, built by the Chinese. Fendel campus, built by the Chinese. The ministerial complex, built by the Chinese. The Escadis Post complex, built by the Chinese. The Ministry of Health, built by the Chinese. We can go on and on and on and on. But come on, I never thought that I would be the Director General of LBS for the Chinese to come in and give us a new television and radio complex. I never thought for once that would happen even in my lifetime. But I'm grateful to the Chinese. And I share the vision of the Chinese that all of what is happening in this country right now, we can minimize some of our issues that seem so big for us if we have television and radio. And let me say this to you. We have a morning circle, right? Where the cars. You think if you have a program like Balawala on and everyone is glued to the television, and then we break, and then have a low 1 or 2 minute teaching of how pedestrians and motorists alike can navigate the circle, don't you think that would be great? If we just stop in the middle of a performance by Angel Marco or by Joseph Dean, and just stop and teach people how to wash their hands after they use their bathroom, that would be wonderful. How is it that we want to carry out development in a country that have a high percentage of illiteracy, but there is no vessel that is going to carry the message and teach them? We need to teach our people how to manage their resources, how to store their food, how to properly care for their food before bringing it to market. We need to teach them the importance of not digging holes in the roads or not burning tires in the middle of a tar road to create holes later on. We need to encourage them to go to school. What tool do we use to do this? And so the Chinese, looking at everything, say, you know what? If we give these people television and radio, they can use this important tool of communication to communicate more with their people, expand their horizon, and teach their people some of the things. Like, I will tell you something that really upsets me. Rwanda banned plastic. And today, Rwanda is the cleanest country in Africa. We haven't banned it, but at least we can teach people how to manage plastic waste in this country, how to even go towards recycling, for example. We can teach them the importance. We can tell them that the plastic you drop on the ground, it takes 450 years for it to decay. So you will go through probably 8 generations before the plastic decays. But what vessel do we use to mass educate our people? There's no television. There's no television. The person in Lofa cannot see what's happening in Granji there. In this day and time, when people can hold cell phone and I can talk to Fabine when Fabine is in her house and I can see her in real time, come on. Why have we done this to ourselves? This year, and by the end of next year, if God spares our life, television must come to Liberia, radio must be expanded throughout the length and breadth of this country. It's time. It is not a privilege for the Liberian people to be able to hear ELBC. It's not a privilege. It's a right. It's a right from the Constitution. It's the right of the people to be informed. And maybe I would say governments try, but trying wasn't enough. And this president is determined to make sure that violation comes to an end. Because just because you try and brought television to one section of the country does not mean you upheld the constitutionality of what the people expect. No, you tried. That's fine. I get it. But to bring television to the entire country now, do you know what it will cost? Today, I heard people talking about $1 billion raising in revenue. That's fine. But it will cost $1.5 million to give these people their right. I sit here as Director General. If it's going to cost $1.5 million to give them their right, and you want to raise $1 billion in revenue, the best place to start is educating them on the importance of paying taxes. And to do that, you cannot go into their villages personally. You can do it by radio. You can do it by television. You can do it in their various vernaculars. We have 97.7, which is the language radio station. We can utilize that. But you know what? We need the substations running in order for them to get the message in the counties. So we're going to do everything we can. I want to say thank you to the Chinese government and people. I want to say a special thank you to President Xi Jinping, and a special thank you to Ambassador Cheng Wei for the vision that indeed Liberia, in order to step up to the plate, needs television and radio to be able to do these things.
Thank you, sir. Fabian, do you have an idea of those who are following us tonight on the show?
And let me say, you asked a question, who are some of the people coming tomorrow? Right. I don't want anybody to feel bad. So I know for a fact President Bwaka will be here. I also know for a fact Senator Dillon will be here. I also know for a fact Fabian will be here. I also know for a fact I will be here. Thomas Guo will be here. I know for a fact
Fowler will be here.
Yeah, Fowler will be here. Joseph Dean will be here.
Oh, wow.
Balawala will be here. The National Culture Troupe will be here. The Sasa Group will be here. The AFL Marching Band will be here. There's a whole host of groups and everything. They will be here. They will be here tomorrow on the LBS compound. And one of the reasons why a lot of people will be coming to LBS is to share in the historic moment that on August 16, 2024, the Chinese government broke ground for the construction of a television complex, ending the drought since the Civil War. Today, I got a gentleman in the presence of Malawala Balawala who came all the way from Nimba County. So I hope I didn't say this, then people will say, oh, it's not you. But Kekura Kamara was sitting right there, and he said, I've come all the way from Nimba to tell you thank you. I never thought I would sit in Nimba and watch ELTV, especially Nightline Africa. And knowing that you have done this, you and your team have come all the way from Nimba to say thank you, that today I can sit in Nimba County and watch television. So I hope you're thinking about bringing it, because the day we cannot pay the money to SATCOM, it means we will not watch television. I want to say to that young man today, television is on its way. The digitization of television and radio is on its way, and we are prepared to do it, and do it we shall.
Okay, so a young man from Complay, you remember?
Yes.
Actually tell us that he was watching
Complay,
on LNTV.
yes, on LNTV from Yekepa,
right.
from other places.
From Grand Gita too.
Yes,
Okay.
and
I was
somebody
shocked.
called us from Fishtown last night, said they were watching
Maryland the other day.
watching LNTV live.
But what shocked me is the person who called from Gambia. And I said, you called LMTV in Gambia?
Right.
She said, you guys are on one thing called Multi TV.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
So actually probably we have not seen, well, we'll see those who are following us, but it's time we open the line and allow the public to interact. It's very big news for Liberia, very good news for LB, very big news for journalism. So we will now open our lines to begin to take calls. We need a line on the screen so that the callers can have an opportunity. Can we have the line on the screen, please, so that the callers can call in and chip in. I'm happy.
Maybe if they have questions, so I can answer it and go back to my work.
Yes, indeed. That's why I'm so happy, because he was like, but I have a lot of work to do. But we kept him here. So it's 0772 876481. 0772-876481. Do we have the first caller? Hello there.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Vowon and Fabi here. I appreciate you guys a lot. I'm a regular follower. Sometimes I don't have to call to come in, but I follow the program regularly. This is Ambassador Young Leader John Kamara Taylor. I am a journalist, as you may be aware, but I am also in the NGO sector. So I want to appreciate the Director General who's been on a lot of shows, especially when I was serving as Program Director for both radio and television for Top FM and Top TV in Grangeda County. So the LBS current Director General who's been on issues just like we haven't seen for a while. But however, I want to appreciate, I want to laud his effort, especially as to his exposures tonight. So to take you to a point, there are 4 questions I want to ask today, because I'm a regular follower. That tells you that I don't miss
Can you cut your questions down to 2, please?
Yeah, so let me go quickly to the point. The first concern, Mr. General Director, Mr. Fagon, it has to do with the issue of local radio stations empowerment, especially from the angle of private radio. It's yet to be recognized under your administration. What do you intend to do in order for local private radio and online television stations to benefit from your updated progress towards media institutions across Liberia? That's one. And another issue has to do with civil society organizations across Liberia has communication officers. What plan does the office have in terms of empowerment towards working with them, especially realizing that some of 95% of them are journalists?
Okay.
Telly, within your as you mentioned, I believe
we ask you to do 2. The Director General has to go back to his. Let's. Is there anybody on the line? On 0772 876481. 0772 876481. Call and make your contribution. Discussion tonight. Tomorrow is going to be a huge occasion. So let's go to the line. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good evening to the family. Good evening to participating people of the Republic of Liberia. By the way, the introduction, I'm Alfonso A.F. Kamara. I done this peaceful conversation for Urut to be pursuing my peaceful resident in the Peta Community District Thursday evening.
Let's hear you.
Okay. As a plan, my ES has said all, and this is the first time to hear the kind of development coming to LBS in this country. So I would like to congratulate Mr. Lami Yuji Fagon for your invitation, for your hard work, and for your generosity of this country. We know that you people are around Joseph Wakai. We did not make no mistake to appoint you people or elect you to your viewer position. Okay. And we believe that you will be a great contribution to this country. So I thank you very much. I'm very happy to hear the kind of valuable information tonight already learned. So thank you very much, and may God inspire all of you to continue to do a great work for this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we'll stay here. We can take a few more calls. The number 0772 87. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. So we go for the next caller.
Number 0772.
We go for the next caller. We're having a feedback. We need to check the feedback.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Hello?
Good evening. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello. So let's check for the next caller. I don't know what's going on, but we're still here. Call us on 07. Please lower the volume of your radio. Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good evening. I'm calling from Morovia and Gibson Basin.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, I've been monitoring this radio. I always monitor it. where the director said concerning the development that will be coming in Liberia, what happened is that what is happening in Ivory Coast, where during the wartime we went. Every village you go to, you reason what happened in the capital city in Abidjan, all over Ivory Coast. So if it will be happening, it's a good initiative. But my fear is, in process, people will be going to China to study. And this country, we don't have a very good democratic government. Tomorrow, when people go and come back, the next government can't do them. And hope that place it will be maintained correctly. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. We still have time for additional calls. You can call us 0772 876481 0772 6481, and then we'll take your call. Hello there, caller. Okay, we're still awaiting your calls. Hello, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Elton, calling from Kibo, Maryland County.
Elton, how are you getting us in Maryland? By radio, by television?
Yeah, by television.
Okay, so go ahead, let's hear you.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I want to appreciate the initiative because I watch, how you call it, most of the TV stations from Ghana, and I can see how they can broadcast. And in fact, I don't even know how to talk it because the way in which they do that thing is far different from how Liberia can broadcast. And the fact that this kind of initiative is coming to Liberia, I'm happy about it. But one thing that I want to make clear is that TV station has been in Liberia from because we are watching TV, but just that the way in which the level at which UPO has carried on, it was not like that. Sometimes we have to tell somebody thank you, even if it is little. Tell the person thank you, then you that coming, at least can start that from that point. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go back to the line. Hello, caller. Is there anyone on the line? 0772 876481 07. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Good evening. Tell me your name and where you calling from.
This is Mr. Boy speaking from New Metropolis this evening.
Let's hear you.
Yeah. I just want to give many thanks to Mr. Fagon. Mr. Fagon is not straight in Unity Party. So I saw him at the opening when we were in America. He was with the only straightly. So I just want to make him to say that you are welcome to open this country for us to see how best we can live in peace. We can be in Lufa or go on in Maryland, we can hear or we can see. But if you do that, we will be happy. Continue your job on it.
Thank you very much. We're still here. We'll take a few more calls. Yeah. Yes, you can leave the line now. We're going for the next caller. Hello, caller. 0772 8781.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, good evening. Tell me your name and where you calling from.
My name is Emmanuel Ghana. Join a call from Picano City.
Emmanuel, let's hear you.
Yeah, let me say thank you to the LBF family and to the director for all the good way he is doing for the Liberian people. But I hope and pray that after all the development that will carry on in our LBF fence, the people way in district number 5, Grand Bassa County, from the various villages and towns should feel the impact. It shouldn't just be in Buchanan City alone. Okay. Because we want to watch television, other things, and pretty soon you know that the entire Grand Bassa County will be electrified after 2 or 3 years. Okay. So our people in district number 5 too will be having a television to watch while all going on in the capital city. So thank you to the LBS family.
Thank you very much. 0772 6481 0777 6481, and you'll be live on the show. You can call to ask your questions, make your comments. Big occasion coming tomorrow. LBS compound for the construction of a broadcast.
Good evening, how are you?
Good evening. Tell me your name and where you calling from.
Okay, I'm from from the channel Port City.
Papa, thank you for calling us. Let's go.
Okay, I want to applaud the director. You know, a good dreamer is a good visionary. And then I want to bless him that God empower him and give him more wisdom that at least he improve this country beyond wisdom and power.
Did you say good dreamer is a good visionary? I didn't hear you. Did you say good dreamer is a good visionary?
A good visionary.
Okay.
And I want to applaud him that God give him more wisdom that he be able to develop this country in a way that we don't expect or beyond reasonable doubt. And then people say that Omer Water is a dreaming, or sleeping dinner. But someone sleep well to think about the country and to take care of into the country. There's someone who have work on about and they're not seeing the country what is going through. They want to bless the Omer that he live long. That people that he have brought, that people were condemning and trying to say things against, that they will prove to the people that are doubting, and they will see the better of this country, that we achieve better things for our children that we are educating, and then that will come out of this country. Let God bless you and bring you long life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's go back to the telephone line. Please lower the volume of your radio when you call. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes, please tell me your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Dickman, and I call you from Kenya.
So let's hear you.
Let me say thanks to account and exchange for that thing. This is initiative. Then why the truth it is the biggest and most of the initiatives that are carry on. But I think from our understanding, the maintenance aspect, that's one of the problems, and how well we upgrade systems from in our rural counties and those programs as well. Because we are in dealing with the data that we got there, but then there is no maintenance, no better programs, and to be spearhead on the zero television. So I think besides the wider broad screens of the TV stations around, I think accounts and things must be able to initiate TV programs that people will be quality listening for educating and with the time. Not just initiate it, and then I will see it, and sort of we have in the programs that will educate people and make the TV, so it does need their music and all about things. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You know, when I went out to see the DJ to get him over to the show, I promised that we would have taken some calls and allow him to go back to his work. So I think it's but fair to keep the deal. Thank you all for calling. DJ, you've listened to the callers. What do you make of their calls?
Well, first of all, let me thank all of those who were able to call in, and thank those who are listening also, and those who wanted to call in but could not make it. There's still another day when I will be behind this microphone for a full 2 hours to interact with the public on their suggestions for LBS and to give them a briefing of what I have done so far, me and my crew, my management team. One caller, first of all, said, what are we going to do to help local radio stations? And I want a caller who called. I worked with him when I was in 2017 campaigning for then President Weir at Top FM. Well, here is the deal. If I cannot help myself, can I help you? The state in which we met the state-run broadcaster was deplorable. And we are trying to bring it up to the level that is appreciable or better. If we get to that level, then we're going to look around and say, can we offer technical assistance? A lot of what people don't understand is that by law, we get 60% of our budget from the government, budgetary support, 60%. The other 40% we have to source on our own. The day somebody said they're not bringing death announcement or public service announcement here, we're broke. And 40% of our budget is quite a huge chunk. Unlike some of the local radio stations that are owned by politicians, the churches, or what have you, for us, we cannot afford to charge the way they charge. We cannot afford to do things the way they do things. That's because our hands are tied. But I want to assure him that at some point, we're going to wake up and we're going to help. But for now, most of what we will do to help local radio station is offer technical support. And that is our technicians will be able to help you, repair your transmitter or something like that. But to offer you cash or maybe to give you items or replacement equipments, we ourselves don't have it. He talked about the CSAs, what are we going to do? Like I said just now, these groups are civic groups. But at LBS, 40% of everything we do comes from where we're able to get the money from. Meaning we have to do advertisement, cover programs and stuff like that. So it's pretty tough. A lot of people, I'm going to leave maintenance for the last. A lot of people, another guy said, television was here before now, but it was not as good as it is now. That's still a plus. It's not that we're not giving credit to where credit is due. Like I said, it was limited to Monrovia and the programs on television. When I entered, I sat down for 2 days in my office. This is a true story, watching television. And the only thing I saw was Deutsche Welle. And then they play the African movies. And I'm like, this cannot be. But what do we have now? After the 2 days, I put together my crew. We brainstormed for about 5 days. And we brought the counter meat to the Liberian people live on television. That was our first move. From then on, I said, anything that happens live must be brought live on television. When the president speaks, we bring it live on television, correct? When he travels, whether to the US or any country, we bring it live on television. Quite recently, River says, the people saw themselves on television. So I agree with him. It's not like before, but it's far better than you would have imagined when it was just limited to Monrovia. Another thing he said, another caller called and said that they hope they will feel the impact in all of Buchanan. My friend, by the time we install the 300-watt transmitter in Buchanan, you will watch television anywhere you place one in Buchanan. I guarantee you that. And that's what we're committed to doing. Now, before I go to maintenance, a lot of people said, Fagon is not a journalist. Why send him at LBS? One of the reasons why I work so hard is to erase that notion that in order to manage a radio and television station, you must be a journalist. That's only for a narrow-minded person to think. If your mind is narrow, then you think as such. Because you must first of all know what the duties and responsibility of a director general is. I'm here to formulate and implement programs and policies of this institution. I'm not here to hold microphone. That's not what the law says I should do. And be talking. I'm a journalist. I graduated from this school, journalism. That's not my job. It's not my job. And how is being a journalist put you in the position to better perform at a state-run institution, a radio station, or a television station? If you're mean, you're just mean. If you're cheap, you're cheap. If you're an underachiever, underperformer, you are what you are. Being a journalist does not make you wipe floors. It doesn't make you change light bulbs. It doesn't make you manage. And so that idea that he's not a journalist, why send him at LBS? Even a pipe fitter or a carpenter who's dedicated and committed to transforming a place can go there and do a job and do it well with the support of people. Now, a lot of the callers talk about maintenance, and even my sister Koto stressed it. They're not wrong. You know they're not wrong. You know Koto not wrong. Our biggest problem in this country is maintenance. And the attitude we have, man, women, our government team, government will put it back. We have that kind of attitude. I took over here. Maybe I shouldn't spoil the program for tomorrow. Yeah. But you're looking at something that in your pocket you can do something about. Just rope to tie, you will not do it because it's not yours. Our biggest problem is maintenance. We like to see it new, but we don't want to maintain it. We will use it until they get rotten. And when funds are given to us to even maintain it, I mean, I real chopping coming with small money. You know how many persons have called me when they heard that the project is over $5 million? I mean, I rather you now small eating you coming to. The people don't give you money. They're gonna do everything by themselves and just deliver it. Now small chopping to LBS a few times. If I gonna really waste what? If we got $5, we're gonna put it back in LBS and make it what it is. So maintenance has been it's not limited to even LBS. It's almost the whole country. You see our buildings in dilapidated state. The cars, LBS. Over 9 to 10 vehicles sitting in the grass getting rotten. Some of them only needed $1,000 to get going. And I know, and I can say to this republic, in the month of February, around the 7th, the BBC gave LBS 51,000 United States dollars. And between February and March 22nd, when I took over, God knows what happened. And you can keep praying for Liberia. But now today, people sit there and say, how come LBS got all those cars? Ask the government of Liberia if they bought us a single one of them. No. Ask the government if they help us repair it. No. And the fact that we didn't get that money did not stop us. We went ahead, and tomorrow we'll line those vehicles up for everybody to see. They look sparkling clean and almost brand new. You know, Anthony, you see them every day. But how does that happen? It happens when someone shows concern and treats government stuff or public things as their own. Who would like to see this place dirty? I remember when I came here, where this gentleman is sitting right now. That whole thing was inside the hole there. It was not there. It only required 2 screws. That's what got it like that. 2 screws. You see how good it looks? 2 screws. But the whole thing fell down and nobody cared. These phones in here are new. But who will put them there? They only cost around $60. And to maintain them for the whole month is $5. Why would you not have them there? You buy it one time. One time. That's all you need to do. Look at all these gadgets. Why? Now today people think it's magic. It's not magic when you pay $100 for the same Techno cell phone and buy 2 lapel pins, microphone pins, for $17 at the Chinese mall, and buy one $13 tripod. How much is it for a correspondent to stay at the top of Nimba Mountain and show you the beautiful mountain, and all you got to do, run it through your audio video mixer and put it on the screen? That was that simple thing that denied the people of Lufa looking at the people of Nimba and all of their beautiful mountains. Simple as that. Yet you will collect 51,000 and give stories. Yes, I'm saying it tonight. So, if you love your country and you think about your country, then you have to build your country. And here at LBS, anything short of that, you are out the gate. We will love our country, we'll think about our country, and we will build our country. And that operation to rebuild Liberia starts with LBS. Why? Because no individual can be everywhere in this country at the same time. The only way and the only means is through television and radio. And let me say to my friends out there, yes, it's true, many of you have risen to the top. Our friends are okay. Our friends at Prime FM, our friends at Truth FM. LBS is back, and we are at the #1 spot, and we're not leaving. Follow us, we'll be there. You guys are our friends. We love you, but we're taking our spot back, the #1 spot. We got 3 radio stations, 89.9, 97.7, and 99.9, beefed up by our television, and now we have the capability to even reach Gambia. We are at the #1 spot, and we are not leaving. We have no competitor. Let the message go forward. We are the state-run broadcasters, and we will remain the Liberian people's pride. Thank you for having me.
The Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, on fire there. Not just talking about that. We think occasionally this needs to happen once a while. Just drop by.
You got to hit them up so they can say, okay, yeah. LBS all around the country. We ourselves will go around the country too.
Thank you.
But you know, right now we got 7 substations.
Right.
So some of them cover some areas, they done, but we cover all. If you got your business and you're listening to me, come to the business office. We'll work with you on the numbers. If you want to do your advertisement, come. We'll work with you on the numbers. Don't be afraid. If you want to advertise your products on television, come. We'll work the numbers with you and do the magic.
And let's also remember that we have a lot of friends in our community radio stations that are friends to us. That have, you know, really, we don't have to, like somebody was saying, the funding and all of that, but they're still our friends.
They are our friends, and we're offering some of them technical support too.
Thank you. Thank you very much, DG. All the best of luck for the program tomorrow. But let me just send it back to the panelists before you step out. Probably they have a word or two to say. We'll start with Kotu. And she was very nice to you with the kind words. And let's go also to
but Kotu said it too.
Yes.
We're not good at maintenance.
So let's come to Kotu, and then we go to Thomas just before you leave, sir. Kotu?
Yeah, thank you very much, Director General, and Honorable Fagon. Your hard work and did actually that position. I did not doubt you to perform the way you perform because I saw the love of Liberia in you. But again, it takes a visionary like the president we have now. Have taken the bold step, because if you don't, they say the fish right in front of the head, right? If you don't see the president making those vigorous steps, today you guys will not be, making the moves. And that's why he said, if you are not prepared, give way to us, because we need Liberia to the highest level. And the station being, the nation pride, we have to work hard to make it to the #1, like the DG has said. And something they say Liberians are hard to learn. Liberians are not hard to learn. It takes a better leader to put Liberians, in a better path. And I say this because when Ellen Johnson, the president then, was building on markets, and at the John Benton, John Benton market, they put those flowers in front of the building, and people were like, why are you putting flowers in front of the building? And these people were not maintaining. I thought too they were not going to keep those flowers clean, but I saw when they had the marketeers then had their laws put in place that they should keep that place clean. And I saw those flowers growing, and it stayed there for the time. I don't know for now, but I saw it for the level time here, the flowers were all stayed there. So I think it takes a better leader to take the horse by the bull, to make things happen. Like a leader that you guys have now, the DG. I think it's going to be better for many of our institutions, because if we start taking the better step, you as the head making the move, those start following you. We start making follow up making sure that the systems you put in place are maintained. The job that you are doing, like you said, nobody, care about signing in, but you see people are signing in. It's just a matter of telling the people what to do, And if you tell them what to do and stand by what you want them to do, they are definitely going to do it. And I think that's the step we should start taking. I commend, all of you and pray that it's for the success of the program tomorrow. And also want to add my voice to those that are, sitting back on the fence. Make your move and make Liberia better. We are praying for Liberia to be better. And, you might say some of us are not there, but we can be proud when better things happening in our country. And we get shy when the wrong things are happening in our country. And we want the best for Liberia. I say thank you and have a blessed evening. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so let's shift over now to Thomas.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to delay us, since in fact our two other guests or panelists have already dug into the nitty gritty of the issue. But I just want to throw light on one of the callers who said that people are going for study abroad, and then when they come, and another government come into power, they usually sideline them and what have you. One of the things we have tried to not to do is to go ahead and do such things. Come here and see other people and then try to sideline them. One of the things we have indulged ourselves in by ourselves, I mean the new administration here at LBS, we have ensured that when travel opportunities come, we send the staff here. We do not try to award ourselves trips as directors or heads of the entity. We've always given the staff the opportunity. Just the other day, Anthony Williams, one of our online social media guys, was in London. Currently, there's Yasa Suba, who is on her way to Asia, after a trip to the US as well. So we are ensuring that we gave people the opportunity. We do not deny them what they deserve, especially in line with executing their duties. So we'll continue that when the opportunities come, and a particular person needs to travel, they travel. One good thing is that the team we have here, a lot of the team members have already lived in other countries around the world, in the US and other places. So traveling around the world is not a worry, because we've been there, we've seen it, we've done that. So we are open to giving the opportunity to our staff here to be able to get whatever training or exposure that they need out there. Um, Also, when it comes to the radio and television, let's say, we also have the Olympics going on. So someone said, "Oh, there's things are improving." Yeah, yes, things are improving. In addition to what is going on, we have the Olympics that is ongoing. So we're doing everything to ensure that our viewers can see and live, comparable to people in other countries, be able to see the different television shows, movies, shows, and what have you that are out there. We want to do everything we can to be able to open up the system in a way that you can kind of look crazy or kind of look confused when you go to another country, and then you turn on a television. We want to bring Liberia to standard, in power to par with other countries around the world. So we pray that we succeed, and we ask the Liberian people to continue to pray, to continue to be strong and patient. It's not going to come just all at once, but gradually, when we work together, maintain the peace, and endure the difficulties, we will get there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so, I mean, you've tonight been listening to. We had come to talk about tomorrow's program. Little did I know, the discussion would have expanded to the bigger LBs and everything that is happening here. And the interesting thing is that my colleague Fabian and I, we are staffers here, and we know exactly we are witnesses to what we're seeing. For instance, there has been this big problem before now when there are opportunities for travel. The bigger guys, would normally jump on them and run, but like Thomas is actually our deputy here for administration, so he's speaking authoritatively, and we are happy to hear that, because it means that it didn't just happen to those people. It's like a policy direction of the administration. So we look forward to that. We also appreciate the assurance. It is true that in time past, you saw people benefit from scholarships funded by government on arrangement that they will come back and serve. And when those people came back, they were resisted. They were never incorporated. And a lot of the times, these things really frustrated a lot of people. You went out, maybe you got a bachelor, went out, got a master's, probably a double master's on government's expense. You come back and somebody just says, no, you can benefit. It's not fair to the country. It's not fair to the individual. It's not even fair to yourself, because those funds were intended that when it's a form of loan. Actually, you go learn, come back, serve the country. Let's hope that, like you said, a lot of the bigger guys here been around and seen how things are working in other places, and they can serve as an example, lead for others to follow. That this is how to do it. I was very impressed when I didn't know Anthony Williams had gone to the UK. So when I heard that he was somewhere in London and stuff was going on, I thought to listen again. And I was like, oh, this is a positive envy. I'm waiting for my time to come too. So, yeah, we'd like to thank the management. Unless our panelists have anything else to add, I think it's been a good show today, Fabian.
Sure.
So
it was a good one, and we hope to do that not only for today, but at a point in time to always have the DG to discuss some issues, as it relates to the Liberia broadcasting system. And so one thing I got from Thomas and the DG that is key is about capacity building. Once staffers have been given the opportunity to explore, to learn, and to have that experience, it's also good for institutions, because when you build the capacity of others, that isn't a lose-lose game, but rather it's a win-win. I would describe it as being win-win, because when the knowledge has been impacted from outside Liberia and other countries, and you come back to your institution like LBS to share what you have learned, that gives edge to others that will follow suit. And so I really want to thank our Director General and our Deputy for Administration for seeing what all is said, and I believe strongly that it shall come to pass, and that will happen. And so for tomorrow, all is set for the construction. And I think
you mean the groundbreaking?
The groundbreaking, the groundbreaking rather, of a new radio and television station. And based on what the Director General said, we expect a lot of people in the compound tomorrow. So it's going to be an all-day and colorful affair tomorrow, where people will come and witness the groundbreaking ceremony to be done by the president and other guests that will be around to grace the occasion. So we look forward tomorrow to seeing people being around. I'm told that they are still in the compound, though we are up, and I'm sure when we get down, we're going to see them around, making sure that things happen with all the decoration and cleaning up of the compound and setting up things. So I'm sure by tomorrow morning, when we will be around to see what's going to happen tomorrow. And I just pray and hope that all will be well.
Yeah, but it's not only today. They're on the compound tonight. It's not there. It's always like that. Usually when we leave the show, 10:15, 10:30, Sometimes I run into the deputy for administration.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
report
yeah.
right on the stairs. He's also going out. Oh, chief, he say, yeah, going home now. Sometimes you know if I go and sitting at the canteen over there at those kind of hours, and so these are people who work long hours to get things working. So they say the fish starts to rot from the head. We too are catching up. We're around too. Again, we'd like to thank all of our callers for calling in. LBS has proven that it is not what people had kept in their
Yeah.
minds. People can come and say what they
Mhm.
have to say. All we say is, free to speak, but speak clean. Because when you do that, then we all have a conversation. So LBS is not a zoo bush, so to speak. Um, and our panelists,
If I
they're
can chip
wonderful.
in a little,
Yeah.
Anthony.
Go ahead.
So just before we go with the few minutes we have, I want to inform our listeners that LBS is actually taking applications. We are accepting applications um, for various positions, including carpenters, IT personnel, web developers, plumber, cleaners, operations. Accountants, security, like so many different areas. If you're capable of anything, just drop your resume at LBS compound. If you are far away in the Leeward counties, you can send your application and resume or your CV to jobs at elbcradio.com. That's jobs, JOBS, at elbcradio.com. We are looking for radio technicians, looking for store clerks, continuity announcers and producers. We are looking for cameramen, switchers, newscasters, sports reporters. We are also looking for lawyer and QuickBooks administrators, you name it. So send your applications to jobs at elbcradio.com. If you can come to our compound, deliver them to the HR department, bring your resume and your letter of application. We are open to receiving them. Please apply. These are opportunities that are available, and you will get them when you qualify. They are actually, this is a transparent process, and we want you not to be reluctant. We want you to apply so that you can fill these positions. We need workers. We are short staffed. Thank you.
Thank you. Great news.
You're not looking for
This is some.
nurses too? Are you not looking for nurses too?
No, unfortunately, not yet.
But that's
Go,
that's a
go.
valid
Are you
that's a
related
valid.
Oh,
to
yeah.
what I used to teach at Chatman?
No, mine
Oh,
Gua
Okay.
hails from Vanjaman district. My great grandfather used to be a teacher in a place called Bubumen, right around the Vanjaman
okay.
area. Yes, so he had a lot of students. He used to have a lot of students live with him and go to school. So I'm from that area. So we from the Bubumen, the Ali Jesu, the Bazagizea. Um, yeah, my grandmother and her people from Bakamai and Bazagizea, and then my grandfather from Ali Jesu. And then
Okay.
yeah, so it's,
That's the bonnet district, right?
Uh-huh.
yes, yeah.
In Liberia, once you continue, you will soon find a link. Once you start to explain, you
Yeah,
soon
That's
find
so
a
true.
I see
link.
some of our social media guys asking whether I'm related to one Tanugua. No, I'm not. But you never
Okay.
know again because it requires some
Mhm.
digging to be able to
That's true.
establish
Okay.
those links.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are out of time. Let me say thank you to our panelists. Let me say thank you to the Director General. Thank you to the callers, to the technicians. And I did this last night. Tonight again, I'm going to hand back to Fabienne. She started us off, and she invited me in, so I'm sending it back to her again. Thank you.
So I want to thank everyone that participated on the show by calling in. Your concerns were vital and the questions were answered. It's just that our honorable DG has been working and he's still working and he's kind of tired. And so everybody, he's also preparing for tomorrow to grace this all-important occasion here on the compound of the Liberia Broadcasting System. And to our wonderful panelists who's always there at night to make this show a success, we want to tell you all thank you. And to our callers, our viewers and followers, we do appreciate you. And tomorrow, we hope to be back on this program with another edition that is a weekend edition tomorrow. And I also want to recognize our cameraman, and Archie is also here along with Damoa, and also Melvin, who is here or who will be at controls later on when we turn over. And so it was a great night having this show. I want to tell everyone thank you and have a wonderful night, and do see you tomorrow.